He's got the toys. He's got showmanship. And he's got sex appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, from the great Southwest, here's the guru of gadgets, the dapper and dashing Don Baine, the Gadget Professor. Gadget Professor.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Gadget Professor. My name is Don Baine and of course I am the Gadget Professor. I'd like to welcome everyone to this Thursday evening show. We are on episode 120 and it is August 29th and the summer is racing by. In fact, I think the summer is pretty much over. We got Labor Day coming up upon us. So if you're new to the Gadget Professor, welcome, and if you're old, I really appreciate you coming back. And matter of fact, you can do me a favor and tell your friends and family that you watch the Gadget Professor. It's always entertaining and I hope informative, and I would love to have more people watch the show, so spread the word around. Now, while we're on that, of course, you can watch the Gadget Professor on about 145 different glass services, as they say. The easiest way to watch the Gadget Professor would be just to go to our webpage, and that's at thegadgetprofessor.com, and if you look at our webpage, you'll see a brown box. If you click this box, you'll actually be able to subscribe to the show. So if you have a Zoom, some people still have those, you can get the audio feed. If you have an iPad, an iPod, an Acer tablet, a computer, pretty much anything, Samsung TV, Boxy Box, the Roku box, which is actually behind me showing our logo. We are available on all those informative tools, anything that takes an RSF feed or anything that can grab the web. You can watch the Gadget Professor. We would also like to have everybody certainly check us out on the Facebook page, and that's Facebook/The Gadget Professor. And of course, my favorite page, which is Rebel Mouse. Rebel Mouse is a page that takes our tweets, and I tweet probably 100 times a day at this point. I have several people that help me do that. And essentially, you can reach me on Twitter, which would be @GadgetProfessor. But what Rebel Mouse does is it actually takes all those tweets and puts video and sometimes audio and photographs against those tweets, and you can actually get a great visualization of pretty much any gadget that's coming out within the hour, and click on it and read all about it. So it's really a great thing. And of course, if you go to our show notes page, we're skipping around here a little bit, but if you're on the gadgetprofessor.com, scroll down until you get right here. It says newsletter. You definitely want the newsletter because every Thursday evening, as soon as the episode is posted, you will automatically, in your inbox, get the Gadget Professor show notes. And essentially what that is a synopsis, if you will, of all the URLs. They're hot linked of everything that we talked about in each show. And every week, as I say, I always get asked, hey, what about this episode? Do you remember you did this, or do you remember you did that? And, we have 100, we're on our 120th show, so I can't remember everything. But if you have the show notes, you can easily go back and find what you're looking for. Now, this week, as I mentioned, we have an interesting show, and it's partly driven by email, and it's partly driven by things that I have found interesting. Now, if you want to get in touch with the Gadget Professor, that's a very simple thing to do. All you have to do is email me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. That would be thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. And I do answer all my email. If you have a question, a tech question, or you're looking for a particular gadget, as someone was this evening, I will try my best to find what will fit your need. And also, if you have a product or manufacturer a product or know someone who does and you'd like us to review it, just give me a shout at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com, and we'll definitely get in touch with you and arrange a fantastic review. So, with that said, let's start off. We've got some fun things, I think, tonight to start off with. I get the New York Times newspaper, and I just started getting it, I don't know, maybe 4 months ago, and there's a lot to read in it, and I really enjoy it. So I'm always fascinated by the ads, and today they had an ad of the New York Times, and I have to show this to you, but it's called Grillworks. And these are like monster grills. If you give one of our wood-fired grills a home, you are okay in our book. I guess you would be. But these are, I'll put this up in the show notes. These are some pictures of these grills that they make. And all I could say is, oh my God, these things they're enormous. And they also have an enormous price tag, of course. So if anybody has one of these grills from Grill Master, I mean, look at this thing. You can definitely invite the Gadget Professor over for a barbecue, which I do love. But you can see these things lift up with kind of a mechanism here. It lifts up and down. And I figured, how much could they cost? So I just clicked on products and ordering just for kind of kicks and giggles, and this is the one that kind of caught my eye. So this one sells for $28.50, which I guess isn't that bad if you got that kind of bucks. For the ones who want the 26-inch grill, that's $3,375, and the prices go up. This one here, which I think I'll just let's see if we can get a picture of this one. It's this one here that we want. This particular grill, this one here. Let's view a larger image. There we go. That's $9,000. I can eat out a lot for $9,000, but I just thought they were incredible. And reading this website, some people actually put these in their homes. The heck with outside. So there you go. I thought that was kind of interesting. And rolling right along here, this ad also caught my eye. As a matter of fact, this is in the New York Times Magazine. I don't bother reading that. There's no pictures in it. It's just all words. Anyway, but on the back they had this advertisement. And it caught my eye because I like watches, and I don't buy expensive watches for sure, but it was a nice simple design and it looked kind of neat. But what caught my eye was this says Engineer Master 2 Grand Central Time. That's the name of the watch. Now this is a limited edition, and there's only 999 pieces of this made. So if you were one of the lucky dudes to get one of the 999 watches like this, this has self-powered microglass lights that actually light up. It looks like a cool watch. I've never heard of the manufacturer Ball, but that's okay. And it's the official railroad standard since 1891, accuracy under adverse conditions. So it looked kind of like an interesting watch, and of course when I looked how much it was $4,000. So that's a pretty accurate time, and I know that's not a lot of money for watch collectors, but what I found interesting is that it's on the internet as at Base World on the Facebook page for 2012 novelty. So obviously, and this is what I thought was amusing, the 999 out of the 999 watches made in 2012, I guess they're still readily available. So there you go. So enough of that. Let's get on to some apps today. Folks, this is another email request that I got, a frantic one from a teacher. And they said school is just starting, and one of the assignments that they wanted to give to the students was have them read what was going on 100 years ago, and could I please tell them what the website was that had all the old newspapers. Well, Emily, here it is. It's called Chronicling America, and it's from the Library of Congress. It's called Chronicling, I'll get that eventually, America.loc.gov, local government, and the page will be on my show notes, which I know you subscribe to. And this has all the old newspapers. You can search on the articles that you want, but it's kind of an interesting assignment to have the kids go back and look at what happened 100 years ago, and there's a variety of papers that you can do that from. Here's one from, I think it's Lahu, Kauai in Hawaii, and here's one from Klamath Falls, Oregon, and here's one from Holmesdale, Pennsylvania, which is very close to my hometown, which is Scranton, Pennsylvania, for those who are curious where the Gadget Professor was born and raised. But Holmesdale is not too far from Scranton. So anyway, if you want some fun, check out what they did 100 years ago. Moving right along, we have 3 video apps that I'm going to show you this week. They're all free and they're all fantastic. So if you have some videos that you've taken this summer or some videos of the family that you'd like to put together and make a movie from a video, and you're not a rocket science movie editor, these are great tools that are free that you can download, and it will help you make your movies and make them look pretty good. The one that I like that's totally free and actually comes installed on Windows 7 and I think XP, but I know it's on Windows 7. It's also free for Windows 8 people. It's called Movie Maker. I'm not going to run the video on this, but you can go to the web page. It will be in my show notes. And this helps you make great movies that will combine video, audio and any stills that you have, any photographs, and it will put it all into an easy to use look, if you will. I'm trying to think of the word, interface. And you just dump your audio, you dump your video, you dump your photographs, and essentially you just drag and drop where you want what, and you can do special effects, and it's free and it's really cool. Another one that's actually easier to use, but it's not as robust. This is called Avid Mux. It's from SoundForge, and I think it's Avid Mux. I can't even pronounce it, but this looks like a cool one. I have not used it, but what I like about it, it's available for Linux, BSD, Mac OS operating system, and Microsoft Windows, and it's also the GPL, which would be the Linux license. Totally free, and this is a free video editor designed for simple cutting, filtering, and encoding tasks. It supports many types of files, including AVI, which is probably the most common one, DVD compatible, MPEG files, MP4, and ASF, and a variety of other codecs. The tasks can be automated. The job queue, you can put things in a job queue, and it has powerful scripting capabilities. So definitely check this one out. And the one that's supposedly the master of them all, I have used this, and it's quite a piece of software. You can try this for free. And the big boys use this, and it's called Lightworks, and I mentioned this a long time ago, but this is really coming to its own. It has great tutorials. It's free. You can spend some bucks and buy a full version of this, but this particular version is free, so you'll want to check that out. Now, we have another app for you today, and if you use Word, or you're finding that Word is too expensive, you don't want to keep updating Microsoft Word, I can understand that. You can use Jarte, Jarte, and this is a free word processor based on the Microsoft WordPad. It's a word processing engine that's built right into Windows for you, and this word processor does pretty much just about everything that Word does. It's not quite as good as Word, but for free, this is a very cool tool, and I think you'll find it very helpful. Now, without further hesitation, let's get into our insane gadgets of the day. I actually have 3 of them, and we're going to roll right through them. And the first one that I'm going to talk about is this Whirlpool pump drain. What am I talking about? Why do I need it? Well, here it is here. And this is a real handy gadget, especially this time of the year. Living on the East Coast, it is very hot and very humid. And I have a dehumidifier, as I'm sure a lot of people do, all over the place. And did you ever get tired of emptying the water out in the dehumidifier in that bucket? You know, you have it on, and if you have it on high, it fills up, then it stops. So, you know, it could fill up in 2 hours if you have it on high, and then it sits for the whole day until you come home and empty it. So the only option typically is to put the dehumidifier on top of a sink or something so the water could drain right through the drain spout instead of into the little bucket. So this pump solves that problem. And essentially, it's very easy to operate. One end actually is going to plug into the wall, if I can find the plug here. So that's pretty simple. That plugs into 110 AC, and that takes care of that. Now, on the back of every humidifier, obviously you have to pull out the bucket. But if you look at the back of every humidifier, there usually comes a little pipe that you could stick into it, which makes the water drip out of the pipe. And also at the end of that pipe is typically a hose fitting. So you could actually take a hose and cut it, or you can buy a washing machine hose for a couple bucks at Sears or wherever. And what you're going to do is you're going to plug this into the wall, and the hose from the dehumidifier is going to go right into this hole here. So the water essentially is going to drain into this box, this rectangular container. Now what happens is 2 things. One, there's an internal switch on here, and when that switch rises to a certain point where the water is, let's just say it's about here, the pump is going to kick on, and it's not that noisy. And what will happen is it will pump the water out, the pump's here, and it will pump the water out through this hose. And you have a 25, you can put as long a hose as you want. This comes with 25 feet of hose. Here it is here. And basically you're going to throw the end of the hose, there's still water in here, but you could throw the end of this hose into your bathtub, into your sink, wherever you want, and this has enough power to actually pump up. So if the dehumidifier is on the floor, this obviously will pump it into a drain, a shower drain, or you can put it into your sink and it will pump the water up. So these are very, very handy devices. One thing you want to make sure of, actually two things, is one, that you actually take a clamp and put it on here, because when the pump starts, it comes out with some force, and if this isn't on real tight, it will blow this off and, of course, blow the water all over the place. So what's nice about these is it will pump every time this gets full, and it will just pump the water out, and thereby alleviating the need to continually empty that crazy bucket. So I have had this one for about 6 years, and it's really, really come in handy. And I have a friend of mine who bought one of these and has no drain anywhere on his second floor. He has no bathroom up there. Actually, he has a log cabin. And he threw the hose out the window, and the water just drains out the window. So that's item number one. And if you need something like that, I like this one. It's on Amazon. It's the Whirlpool pump drain, and it's not that expensive. This one is $98. It's well worth it. They also have them a lot cheaper. They have them from a Little Giant that's $38, and you can see there's a variety of different types of pumps that you can buy. Now, the next pump that I'm going to talk about, this one's kind of a crazy device. This is called the Handy Pump, and this one I'm going to show you is on eBay. This is what it looks like, and this is a totally submersible pump. The one that I just showed you, you really don't want to put this totally underwater, because obviously it would defeat the purpose. This is primarily to drain a dehumidifier, and that's why you have that hole there, and that's why you have this hose here. This does not go completely underwater. It's not the right type of pump. This pump, however, is totally submersible, and I actually have the book on this, or I had the book somewhere. I don't know where it went here. The Gadget Professor's office is a little wrecked, but that's a whole nother story. So in any event, I'll wing this. This is battery operated, and you can submerge this whole pump underwater. And you would use this to drain an aquarium. You would not drain this to drain a swimming pool, but you would use this to drain your sink. And essentially there's a little filter here in the bottom, so as it's sucking up the water, all the debris, the stones, rocks, whatever, would not go into the pump. So that's a good thing that you want to check out. And this one has an on and off switch. You can hook it into a hose. And oddly enough, this one is totally battery operated. So you take one of those large 6-volt batteries. This comes off. There's all kinds of gaskets in this. The actual battery fits inside here. It's one of those, actually I think it's a 6 or a 12 volt, I can't remember, battery that just shoves inside here. I think they're 6 volt. And then this has a clamp, 2 clamps that really locks this down quite tight. And you can hear that, and that's the spring tension, and it clamps it so no water is going to get into the battery. And these are okay. The picture I wanted to show you, and I kind of laughed, it shows it draining a sink. It shows it draining a big aquarium, and it's great for aquariums. It also showed you draining your boat, your rowboat. So I don't know if I'd want to be in my rowboat and have this little pump that works on a 6-volt battery draining the water as it's coming into the boat, but it was kind of cute, and they do have their purposes. Now, you can find these types of pumps and similar pumps. This is a superior pump. They make fantastic equipment. A little, I want to say, on the expensive side, but much, much better made, certainly, than this. And these can be used as sump pumps. They're totally submersible, and you can get whatever horsepower you want. This is a 1/3 horsepower. They have a 1/4 horsepower, and they run anywhere from $60 up. And again, on Amazon, you can see all the different types of pumps. And again, I'm gonna get a lot of email from plumbers telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, and you need this, you need that. But 2 things I recommend: one, a clamp on all the hoses. So anytime you're going to put a hose somewhere, you want a clamp so the hose doesn't pop out. And the other thing that you want, and a lot of these pumps have them built in, is a device called a check valve. And if you're not familiar with a check valve, what it does is when the water goes up, this valve slams shut, so no water comes back down through the other way. So you want to have a check valve. This particular pump, the Superior pump, moves up to 40 gallons of water per minute. It's made of corrosion-proof thermoplastic. It's powerful, energetic 4.1 amp motor, and for use it's a utility application. So Check out the pumps if you actually need one. There are a variety that you can buy, and they're not that expensive. Here's a half horsepower pump, which is a pretty heavy duty pump, and this one is 1/2 horsepower, totally submersible water utility pump. It's made up to a 1/2 inch thick without clogging. Okay, it removes water within 1/8 of the surface. Glass reinforced housing prevents rust, connects to a garden hose with a 3/4 inch adjustable discharge adapter, and it has a 1-year warranty. Very powerful pump, and they have them that are much more powerful. So I thought I would cover that today because I did get 2 emails. It's just bizarre this week asking me if there are any types of gadgets out there that will prevent us, these people, from emptying their bucket in their humidifier. So that's why I'm covering this, to help those people out, and I think hopefully I've informed some other people. And then we had one more email, which is even a little bit more bizarre. I did about 2 weeks ago, I showed some plastic bags, and I was amazed how many people thanked me for that. And I guess I sold a lot of them. I don't make any money on it, but there were about 10 or 12 emails thanking me for showing those bags, because people didn't know they existed, and they would use the little zipper bags. But the bags that I showed a couple weeks ago were much sturdier, and the people that wrote back to me are actually using them to go to the beach, again, to keep the sand out and keep their smartphones and their tablets protected. So that was a good thing. So someone actually wrote me a letter this week and wanted to know if I'm familiar with any other company that makes larger bags, and they don't really care about using it for their iPad or iPod or their cell phone. They have big things that they want to protect, that they do a lot of rafting and canoeing and things like that, so they want something that they could stuff a lot of stuff into the bag. So actually, Lisa, it's called Sealine, and here's the web page. And this is what one of their bags look like. It's very, very, very heavy-duty plastic, and there's actually a netting that's I guess it's embedded in the plastic, and you can put a lot of stuff in these things. And this company Sealine makes probably about 100 different types of watertight containers that you can buy. They're very reasonably priced, and this is the type that I believe you'd be looking for. So you put your stuff in here, and essentially this folds, and it comes around and actually buckles. There's a Velcro strap here, and this is going to keep it watertight. So they have, and I looked, as I said, quite a few different types of thermal bags and plastic bags, transparent bags, all kinds of things that you can use to keep your gear dry, including your camera that you had asked about. And they also, for your camera, will make a special bag. If you go to the manufacturer, people actually make light-tight enclosures for your camera. But in your situation, you're just in a boat and you don't want to get it splashed upon. These will work fine. And if you go to the Sealine page, I actually will have this website up. This shows you all the types of things that they make, and they're all waterproof, and they give you great explanations. They'll give you great photos of different types of bags that they have, and let's see here, we'll try to enlarge that. So there you go. I mean, they get pretty big, and there are various degrees of waterproofing that you may select from. So check that site out. I think you will like it. And in terms of cost, the particular bag that I just showed, this one here, this is called the Sealine Sea Bag. Sealine. I'm having a rough time with enunciation today. The Sealine Sea Bag. This is $16.95, and there it is on Amazon. Now, I had one last letter from a gentleman this week, and he was quite frustrated with Amazon. And I don't push Amazon other than I use them to buy things. I have had zero problems with them. As a matter of fact, I find them to be pretty good, and I just had bought, actually I have a transformer right here to fix a light in my home. Here's the transformer, and I actually got this quicker from Amazon than I could from the electrical supply house. So I put the transformer in, and it was a pain in the neck, and the bottom line is the brand new one that they sent me was bad right out of the box. So here I am with the transformer, $30 short, that doesn't work. So I called Amazon, and they actually said that they purchased this from a third party. Amazon themselves don't sell a lot of stuff, but they have third parties who go through Amazon so you can buy their merchandise, as I did with this transformer. So I called them on the phone, and they were just fantastic. They have already sent me a slip that I can just pack this in a little bag, put it in a box, print out my label, and drop it at any post office, and it's paid for by them, the return shipping, and I will order a new, different type of transformer. Now, the question that this gentleman asked was, how do you get a hold of the people on Amazon? Where is the phone number? I don't see it. Well, it's actually hidden. It's there, but you got to dig for it. So if you go to help, and here's all the things that you get help with. Problem with an order, cancel items on order, return and refunds, where's my stuff, shipping rates and information, manage your account information, blah, blah, blah. If you're having problems with your Kindles, troubleshoot your Kindles. So if you go to the help page, you're going to find all this stuff. Now, here's how you find, and here's where they'll call you. If you go over here on the right-hand side, this little button, and it's there, it's in plain sight, but a lot of people have trouble finding it. You click Contact Us. So when you click Contact Us, it's going to ask you for your password, and as soon as you put your password in, what will happen is you put in your phone number, and it will dial you within 10 seconds. I promise you. You put your phone number in there, it will dial you. Amazon will call you back within 10 seconds. And I have never waited more than 10 seconds. In fact, I have the phone in my hand. I click send, and bang, that phone rings. I am always helped immediately, and I have never, ever, ever had a problem with them. As I mentioned a couple episodes ago, my wife is on her 4th Kindle. We've had 4 different Kindles. They all broke before the warranty time. It was the same issue. The battery died and you couldn't charge it, but every single one was replaced. Free shipping back for the old one, and free shipping to replace the new one, and that's how you reach the folks at Amazon. So I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I've enjoyed bringing it to you. I think I'm going to do maybe 1 or 2 more episodes from Narragansett, Rhode Island, and then in the first week of September I will be heading back to get into our brand new studio in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I think the first episode that I'll do there might be a tour of the studio, because it's really cool and I'm very excited about it. So that will wrap it up today for the Gadget Professor. Thank you very much, and I will see everybody next Thursday. Have a great Labor Day weekend. So long from the Gadget Professor.
The Gadget Professor is produced by Don Baine,
Multimedia Communications, LLC.
If you would like your product reviewed on The Gadget Professor, or would like to appear on The Gadget Professor, contact us via email at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. The opinions expressed on the program by the host, guests, call-in listeners, or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. And thank you for watching The Gadget Professor.